Section 10.6, the distance formula. Essential question. How do you find the distance between any 2 points? So this formula is very important. You're going to want to make sure you copy this one down exactly. We're going to be using it in every one of our examples today. So the distance formula is used to find the distance between 2 coordinate points on a coordinate plane. The formula for distance is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Alright, so the first example, find the distance between the 2 coordinate points. So our 2 coordinate points are 5, 3, and 1, negative 2. Now to be able to plug these coordinate points into the formula, I need to know where to plug them in. Just like back in chapter 4 when we were finding the slope, we're going to label our coordinate points x1 and x2. Oh, excuse me. I didn't even do that right. Let me try again. So it's easiest, let's do it this way. X then y, like the alphabet, x then y, because every coordinate point is xy, xy. Then let's take the first coordinate point and put the 1s, the second coordinate point and put 2s. That part is really, really important for setting up your problem correctly. If you mislabel, like I accidentally just did, you're not going to end up with the right answer. Alright, so let's start filling in our formula. So D equals the square root, and I'm going to make a huge square root sign just like that red one, because the problem's going to be long. So x2, my x2 is 1, minus x1, which is 5, don't forget the squared, plus y2, which is negative 2, minus y1, which is 3 squared. Keep in mind this is not a formula that you have to memorize for your MCAs. It will be given to you on the formula sheet. Alright, so if I simplify that, so simplify as in I'm going to simplify my parentheses. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Negative 2 minus 3 is like negative 2 plus a negative 3, so negative 5 squared. Now here's the part where people make mistakes. Negative 4 squared, if you just type negative 4 squared in your calculator, it's going to give you negative 16. You have to put these parentheses in the calculator if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, you can ask yourself, what's negative 4 squared? Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16, so you need to have the positive. Negative 5 squared is like negative 5 times negative 5, so positive 25. 16 plus 25 is, let's see, 35, 41. So that is not going to end up as a nice square root. So I'll put it in my calculator. And if I take the square root of 41, I end up with about 6.4. So you'll have to see if the book specifies on your homework or on Study Island if they want the answer as a square root or a decimal, because it could be either. Second example, find the distance between the 2 coordinates again. 4, 2, and negative 3, negative 1. So let's label them again first. X, Y, X, Y, 1, 1, 2, 2. D equals the square root. X2 is negative 3 minus X1 is 4 squared plus Y2 is negative 1 minus Y1, which is 2. Don't forget those squareds, like I said before. Okay, negative 3 and negative 4 make negative 7. Negative 1 and negative 2 make negative 3. Negative 7 squared is like negative 7 times negative 7, which is 49. Negative 3 squared is like negative 3 times negative 3, so positive 9. So the square root of 49 and 9 make 58, which if I turn that into a decimal, I get 7.6. And again, remember what this means is that the distance between those two coordinate points on a coordinate grid would be 7.6 units. The last one, it means the distance between those two coordinate points were 6.4. All right, third example, -7, -2, and -5, -8. So xy, 1, 1, 2, 2. So distance equals the square root of x2 is -5 minus x1. So this is the first time where we're
If
going to
any staff would like free popcorn, please come to the school store.
So that's where we're going to need the minus and negative, because it's -5 minus a -7, which means we have to turn it into a superplus. Then we've got y2, which is -8, minus y1, which is a -2. So again, we're going to have a superplus. So 2 superpluses in this example. So we'll have d equals -5 plus 7 is 2. -8 plus 2 is -6. 2 squared is 4.
Rachel Marrier, could you tell me what room you're in, please? Rachel Marrier, which room are you in? Thank you.
-6 squared is like -6 times -6, so positive 36. So our distance is the square root of 40, which is also 6.3. So very close to one of our other answers. So these two coordinate points are 6.3 away from one another. And the final one. xy, 1, 1, 2, 2. So x2 is 3 minus x1, so minus a -1 again, so superplus. Plus y2, which is -4, minus a -2 again, so another superplus. 3 plus 1 is 4 squared, plus -4 plus 2 is -2 squared. So 16 plus 4, which is 20, which equals 4.47, or we'll say 4.5. We'll round to the nearest tenth. Summary? And then the homework for this lesson, you'll have to get from your teacher or look on the homework calendar because it's not at the end of the video here.